Wakanda is a magical place that hid itself behind barriers and decided to help the world with its technology and resources, which were abused by some people. However, the speculations of Marvel Studios probably thinking of bringing Bashenga into a project and telling a story of how it all unfolded was enough for me to take the time and give you a first look into things and tell you everything I know so far. If the latest Marvel Studios projects are taken into consideration, we can all clearly see that the cosmic side of things will probably be the next step, especially now that Kang the Conqueror, or the prime version of the character, I should say, is finally making his debut in the upcoming Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, with the MCU up until this point only showing a variant of his He Who Remains through the low-key Disney Plus series, and even through that character, we started to think of a much clearer picture as to just how powerful Kang is. Thus, we can only imagine how big of an impact he'll have in the future events of the MCU. Outside of the next step towards space for Marvel, the other big thing that the MCU has started to explore over the last couple of years is the afterlife. Through the list of projects including the likes of Moon Knight, Thor: Love and Thunder, and the latest movie from Marvel Studios, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which is why I'm here today to tell you all about it. But first, let me clear some things out and tell you how all of these projects are connected outside of the afterlife element, of course. One of the most interesting things that we're seeing more of in the latest project from Marvel are the avatars of old gods, emperors, or even rulers, simply put, a legacy that has been continued in a certain tribe or species from generation to generation. The first one that comes to mind is Khonshu, the Egyptian god of the moon, and Mark Spector as his avatar, as well as the Egyptian goddess Taweret, whom we saw guiding Mark Spector in his afterlife, with Layla Al-Fawli as their avatar by the end of the first season of the series. This type of connection between an avatar and an old powerhouse can clearly be seen between Bast, a deity even older than Ra himself, who was the protector of the Wakandan people, with Bashenga as its first avatar, aka the first Black Panther, as we came to know when the origin story of the heart-shaped herb was shown in the first Black Panther movie, something the sequel added upon and made me think, could Marvel Studios be eyeing a Bashenga project sometime in the future? Well, it looks like a far-fetched idea, but nothing is impossible for Marvel Studios. Even hit of that like button, just like you should do if you haven't done so already. But no. In reality, a project of the sort should not be a problem for Marvel, seeing what the company has achieved so far, and the newest format of the specials Marvel introduced to the world could very well be something the character deserves right now, after being spoken so much about, but more on that a little bit later. First, let me take you on a journey that will make things easier for you to understand, both regarding Bashenga's origin as well as his place and his impact in the MCU, even after all these years, and without further ado, let's dive right in. Before I move forward, I should warn you that there will be spoilers regarding the Black Panther sequel, and with that out of the way, let's continue. Olumu Bashenga was a Wakandan warrior, shaman born into the Panther tribe during the Bronze Age, who predicted the events to come, the meteor crashing and the new ore discovery, despite him not being able to identify it right away, and during this time he forged two weapons, the Skybreaker, a vibranium sword held later by the Wakandan royal family, and the Spear of Bashenga, a vibranium spear that was used by Bashenga himself at the time, and passed down from Panther to Panther down the royal line of Wakanda. Seeing the leader he proclaimed himself to be simply because of the cosmic energy he managed to harness from the rock that hit his homeland, the other tribes of Wakanda followed him and assigned him as their new leader, eventually becoming the first King of Wakanda. In his role as the Black Panther, he was gifted with secret knowledge by Bast and became the guardian of the Vibranium Mound, and later founded the Black Panther cult, with his spear becoming a status symbol of Wakandan royalty. You can see that throughout his life, he has had a lot of achievements and did a lot of good things for Wakanda, which is also the reason why in the MCU you were able to hear that he has been proclaimed as the father of Wakanda, with his spirits now residing in Jalya, the astral plane, a place both T'Challa and Shuri visited after ingesting a heart-shaped herb, where he sometimes served as T'Challa's member of his council. The Spear of Bashenga has yet to be introduced in the MCU, but in the comics, the weapon has had its fair share of rich history, as it has been used by T'Challa during his reign, particularly during certain tribal rituals, such as that of the Hunt. In the comics, there was also a time when Everett Ross used the spear, you know, the character played by Martin Freeman in the MCU. Yeah, that guy. And strangely enough, many fans wanted to see him use the spear, but considering the weapon has not been used by any Black Panther so far, the theory was quickly swept under the rug. However, this doesn't mean that if a Bashenga project gets the green light, that we will not get to see the spear be used by him, for instance. The last glimpse of hope for the weapon should be Shuri, the latest to wear the Black Panther mantle, and a character who probably has the closest connection to the weapon, seeing how she has used it the most in the Marvel comics so far. It was Bass that smashed that subscribe button and ring that notification bell, but no, in all seriousness, it was Bass that gave Bashenga a vision which led him to find the mysterious heart-shaped herb and become empowered as his descendants would, practically make him the first human with empowered abilities, aka the Black Panther. Seeing this might, 4 of the 5 tribes agreed to live under his rule, with only the Jabari tribe being the one to opt out of it, the present tribe from where M'Baku is in the MCU. Self-proclaimed the Golden Tribe, Bashenga's people, even to this day his descendants and heirs, lead all the way to T'Challa and Shuri, with the two being a direct link to the original Black Panther. Since the rule of Bashenga, the title of the Black Panther has been a hereditary one, which means that T'Challa's son, Toussaint, whose real name is T'Challa II, would be able to claim the title as his own when he becomes an adult, but only after he had rightfully won it, something which would continue Bashenga's bloodline and the chances of us getting a Bashenga project from Marvel Studios much higher than ever before. As an additional form of fans' excitement, art director and designer Sean Morrison recently shared a TV series concept titled Bashenga the First Black Panther, which got many fans really excited, and even though a TV series might be off the table, the previously mentioned special format could very well become a home for Bashenga and a project that would dive deeper into Bashenga's story as the first King of Wakanda and his time as an avatar of Bast and the Black Panther of his time, with the 5 tribes finally finding a right path toward the same goal after an endless war of who should control what region of the land. Whatever the case may be, you can just see how important Bashenga is to the Wakandan people and everything the kingdom stands for today. Thus, it should prove to be an interesting thing for Marvel Studios to give us its take on the character and bring us into old times, with the spear of Bashenga probably being present in the story to come, as well as a little more information given about how the god-avatar relationship works, at least in Shuri's Wakandan family bloodline that stems from Bashenga himself. See you in the next video.